Greater love have no man than this, that one lay down his life for another. That's John. Find it somewhere around chapter 10, I believe, or chapter 12. And it's a whole paragraph that deals with love thy neighbor as thyself. And when you do such things, manifestations, anything you ask in my name shall be done for you. Basically, that whole verse is a New Testament manifestation, and it is a manifestation of something very profound. Now, taken from the perspective of the world and read in context, it implies that someone is sacrificing themselves, literally killing themselves, so for the benefit of others. And that's what the church and the worldly belief system will lead you to believe, that this is the sacrifice that Christ is making for us to have a better life. I'll tell you, it's something much more deeper and much more important than that. And it has everything to do with the creative ability to create in your life. If you understand the paragraph in that chapter, the paragraph ends right around where he says, if you ask anything in thy Father's name, if you ask anything in my name, my Father will do it for you. Or again, I'm paraphrasing, but you can find it in John chapter 12. The whole verse indicates to a creative power that you have, and how to use that creative power. And using it properly is to use it with love, and love one another, and love your friends, and sacrifice yourself in order to uplift someone else. Put aside everything that you know about yourself, and in this case, your awakening. Put aside what you have mastered, what you have perfected, understanding your creative power, and seeing someone who doesn't understand it, give it to them, uplift them, make them just as strong as you, and rejoice when they become stronger. As they increase, you should be glad and full of love and happiness for them, to see that you have taken them from their place of where they were, without understanding about this power, and lifting them up to the point where they can be like you and uplift someone else and start some kind of chain reaction or snowball effect in that way. It does not mean to sacrifice yourself in the sense of committing suicide or martyrdom or anything like that, because the whole verse there is all about loving one another, treating people as friends and not servants, not looking down on them. And when you see someone that is down, you have the ability to uplift them. And that means leaving yourself alone, pushing yourself to the side. Forget about who you are at that moment. Sacrifice yourself so that person can come to the point where you are. You must decrease and they must increase. And that doesn't mean decrease your power like some sort of a gaming system and you have to power up, or you're losing your power. Your power is being depleted. It has nothing to do with that. You keep everything that is yours. It can never be taken from you. You are and what you have discovered, and you are greater than that. And now your memory is coming back to you on how to use that power, that creative power. And through the training and the exercises that have made you stronger and got you to that point where you can easily manifest and use the creative power properly through love and friendship and compassion and companionship, you now have to do away with yourself when you see someone else who is incapable of creating the life that they want, and you must uplift them. Almost like in the book of Acts, where the beggar came up to Peter and said, could he spare something? And Peter said, silver and gold I have not for you, but what I have for you I will give. At that moment, Peter sacrificed himself to make sure that that man could walk. And there's a much greater, deeper meaning to that in the presence of Jesus Christ, which is the awakened you, there can be no lame, and you cannot see a lame person. That's why you can utter such words, or Peter could say such words as, silver and gold I have not for thee, but what I have, I give unto thee. And immediately the man got up and walked, because in your sight, there's perfection. There's no judgment. There is no lame man. The man may appear lame to you, but you are already made perfect. You now have to sacrifice yourself in order to make that man perfect. And that man cannot be imperfect in your sight when you are awake. The worldly eyes may show you a lame man, but your spiritual eyes know that there is not a single issue with this person. However, when you come to this awakening, and as I said, that you are stronger and you have come to this place of understanding this creative power, and you use it through love and comfort and friendship, and not in a sense of thinking of someone lesser than you, to use the word servant. You must uplift that person. You must sacrifice yourself, and you must help that person create the life that they are looking for. We have been blessed in this world, to be honest with you, with the internet, with computers in every single home. The 21st century is flooded with information. Constant monitoring takes place, and constant journalism from an amateur level to a professional level is really a cell phone away. Social media is one of these great platforms. It is such a great evil also. It has been used to manipulate and deceive and create all sorts of nonsense in the world. However, it has also offered us an opportunity to sacrifice ourselves and uplift others. And social media has so many wonderful teachers out there, wonderful teachers on awakening and spirituality and law of attraction. At the same time, it has a plethora of deceitful people that, if it were possible, even to fool the elect. Very manipulative, very deceptive people who take what is written in the written word, and I'm not referring to the Bible, I'm referring to our libraries that are full of spiritual knowledge and spiritual understanding and testimonies of people and their awakening, and have had no spiritual experience whatsoever, have not even experienced themselves, but have an understanding of the concept left behind that has become a concept that is spirituality, and have a voice that can almost hypnotize you into believing that they have had spiritual experiences, and their whole spiritual experience only comes from reading manuals and manuscripts and books left behind, and even being published in this very moment, at this very time that we live in. And this can very possibly fool even an awakened person. You have to be careful, because that is the great evil of social media platforms and speaking on topics such as spirituality, non-duality, consciousness, awakening, illumination, elucidation, etc., etc. Because all of these that have been left behind for us and are to be treasured and valued have become educational tools, concepts. They have become a curriculum that people with the gift of appearance and the gift of speaking can easily fool people into thinking that they are real spiritual teachers. There's a plethora, as I said, of them out there, and you have to be careful. And when you come into a spiritual awakening, you will understand how to use that discernment, and you will understand who is speaking from experience and who is teaching as a teacher through the conceptual idea of spirituality, consciousness, non-duality, etc. For all that evil that social media is, there is so much good and so much purity and so much love also being poured out of it. And some of these people are very genuine. And again, you will pick this up in your discernment. You will be like a dial on a radio station, and you will resonate when you find the frequency and the channel that resonates with you. And your spirit and that spirit will identify and recognize one another. For there's only one spirit in the world, and spirit can only be recognized through experience. It cannot be recognized through a teaching. The scholars and the worldly religious system are proof of that, constantly looking and flipping through the pages. You think in them there is eternal life, and it is they that testify of me. So all day long, flipping through these scriptures, all day long, sermons and whatnot, and not a single experience. not a single understanding of the imaginative power that is God, that is Jesus Christ. But as I said, for all that nonsense, there is some pure love that is shining through social media sites, and there are people who are sacrificing themselves daily to make sure that you are able to channel and harness your creative power and create the life that you want for yourself, whether it be recognition, fame, health, happiness, love, marriage, a white picket fence, and a dog named Spot, trophy husband, trophy wife, whatever it is that you feel limited and you cannot get to. There are people daily on social media sacrificing themselves, putting their life on hold, literally, forgetting all about themselves as though they didn't exist in order for the betterment of others and in order to uplift others who are finding it difficult to understand this. I think it's easier understood when you already undergo a spiritual awakening. That being said, you are in the world and you are constantly using this creative power to create yourself through the influences around you. Parental figures, social figures and social circles, employment figures and employment and your dream job and financial support. And you constantly use this power without even recognizing it. You're constantly changing things up and down without even thinking of the fact that it takes a creative power to make a change in the world. And you are constantly changing yourself, adapting, changing, adapting, and whatnot to all sorts of situations that you put yourself into, guided by the influences all around us, from our upbringing to our financial situation and to our maturity and to where we are in life. You constantly use it. It's constantly being accessed. You don't recognize it. But there comes a point in the journey in the world where you think something is off. And it more than likely will take some sort of traumatic event in order for you to understand the change that you need to undergo and the change that is happening to you from recognizing what used to be vibrant and full of life as now being dull and not serving you, to seeing something greater from you, in you, manifest around you, of something of brilliance and something vivid and beyond any HD or pixel recognition. It is beautiful and cannot be put into words and cannot be explained. It is a transformation and a change that is taking place within you. And in that change, you discover the creative power and you apply it to your life, and you're not as strong with it because you still have to learn how to develop it and how to harness it and how to use it the moments that is necessary in your life to create a positive outcome in your life. And you are that person that is referred to in those verses as, say, a servant at that time. And these brilliant lights on social media that are spreading the truth and that have sacrificed themselves to reveal this truth to you are now uplifting you. The sacrifice is made daily. People go on there every day with pure intentions and pure heart and a clean mind in order to raise up their brothers and sisters, to lift them up, and especially through their spiritual awakening, to help guide them, to be as guides for them. And while they're doing this, although they maintain their power and their ability and their Jesus Christ consciousness, they have to decrease. As John the Baptist says, I have to decrease so that he may increase. They have to decrease. And that is by sacrificing themselves for another. And how do they do that sacrificing? Exactly as it's written in the verses, with love and compassion. And they do it by doing unto others as they wish done unto themselves. They do it from a purity of heart. There's no maliciousness. There's no manipulation. There's no deception in it. It is trying and difficult, and it is hard to put yourself in the forefront and help another in the public eye, because that's what social media is, a public eye. Every single person is monitored. Every single person has social media. Every single person pays attention to every other single person, which is just a reflection of themselves. But these brilliant lights come on every day, and they stand in front of their cameras and they speak to you people, and more often than not are addressing spiritual awakening and people having trouble in their spiritual awakening. And in doing so, they are sacrificing themselves for a friend, for a stranger. And there is no such thing as strangers in the world. We're all family. We're all brothers and sisters. There is no friendship in the world. We are all equal. We are all one. There is only the experience of the world, and coming to a point where that has to shift and a spiritual experience, an awakening happens within you. And when that happens, there is great turmoil, there is great pain, there is great distress, and there is great, wonderful, brilliant, glorious things that happen from that. That tribulation that takes place within you will also be a rapture, in a sense, that will separate you from the world. You will be pulled out of the world. Although you will still be in the world, you are not of the world any longer. And that will separate you. But you still have to learn and grow and develop and harness this creative power that you have. And you have to make it as how you were walking in the world, second nature. It has to become natural. It can't be thought on. And the minute you want to manifest or create something, it has to definitely come from a place of love. It has to come from a place of compassion. It has to come from a place of do unto others as you wish done unto yourself. It has to come from that place of sacrificing yourself. And I say it and leave it at sacrificing yourself because you will channel that power faster than anything else in the world when you realize you have to share it and you have to uplift someone else. Now, through someone sacrificing their life for you to teach you and to help you harness and grow in this spiritual awakening and in your spiritual awakening as a guide, you have to do the same thing. You have to pay it forward. You have to do the same thing because that will, as I said, make your manifestations come to you quicker and faster. When you let go of yourself and you sacrifice yourself for someone else, when you give unto others as Peter gave to the lame man in the book of Acts, that is how you develop and you become stronger and stronger and stronger. But that whole verse in John is all about manifestation, and it is all about how to use your creative power and create the things that you want. And more than anything, it's about helping others, and by helping others, more is added onto you. It is sacrificing yourself to uplift another. And although from the worldly perspective, as I said, you can read the context and see that it's a sacrifice of one man for all of humanity, it is not that. You are that one man. Humanity itself is the Son of God. And everyone awakens to this, and Jesus Christ awakens in them when their time comes. There is an appointed time for every single person. And then, when you are strong enough and you have developed your spiritual awareness, you must sacrifice yourself. You must sacrifice yourself for others. And it must become as a chain reaction and a snowball effect that the other that you sacrifice yourself for sacrifices themselves. It's always an increase and decrease, but it's never a taking away of your power. It's just you recognizing you have to share this love with everyone, and you have to put yourself to the side. You have to become non-existent to what you know and take that knowledge and that wisdom and that inspiration and give it to another. That's what it means by I must decrease and he must increase. You lose nothing in the process. However, you gain double and triple by forgetting about yourself and giving it to another. Anyways, I hope that helped. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for stopping by. This is the cleaner, newer version of myself. I thought I would just clean up for today. Tired of wearing that hat around the house. And I usually just keep it on because I'm constantly in and out with the dogs. And it's cold nowadays. But thanks for stopping by and thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.